Our nation's jalapenos are in trouble. Let me tell you about Jalapeño Gate and what it might mean for the future of food in our country. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard about how a lot of people have purchased jalapeno plants for their home garden, and then when they started actually producing, they weren't jalapenos. They got mixed up with other types of peppers. And I think this definitely calls for another episode of Plant Drama. And although it sounds kind of lighthearted and funny, and there's been a few funny memes that have come out of this, it may actually be indicating that we've got a bigger problem that's starting to build. You see, this is actually a really widespread problem, and that tells me that the seed supply got messed up higher up in the supply chain. And while I don't know which specific company may have been responsible for this, whichever company it was had a simple error, but because they're working with so much volume, that error got passed down to many different smaller seed suppliers and different retail chains. And this led me to do a little bit of research about who controls the seeds in the world. And there's actually an astonishing fact that only 4 companies control more than 60% of all the seeds worldwide. You see, there's a researcher out of Michigan State University named Philip Howard, and he has long been looking into this consolidation on the global scene of all of the agriculture and seed suppliers. And after many mergers and acquisitions, the 4 companies that are now dominating the global market are Bayer, who purchased out Monsanto, BASF, Corteva, and Kim China. Yeah, that sounds like a really nice one. And a lot of this is related to the agricultural side of things, but I'm not going to focus on that. Maybe someone like Cali Organics could jump into that discussion. I want to look at the retail side of things because that's what I deal with. You see, most seed companies start off really good. They like to collect their seeds. They get really good locally sourced seeds and high quality seeds. And then as they grow, sometimes those companies lose their vision, or worse yet, they get bought out by a different owner who takes the company in a completely different direction. Let me walk you through one example of how this has happened. And if you guys want to research and find out any other really good examples and share those with us, I'd be glad to listen. Burpee Seed was founded way back in 1876, and now their seeds are sold everywhere. And this was a family-owned company up until 1970, when second generation David Burpee sold the company to General Foods, which later got bought out by Kraft, yes, that Kraft Foods, in 1995, and then it was consolidated into Ralph Corp Holdings and later Post Foods. And this pattern continues to happen in many different locally owned companies. They start off as nice family-owned companies, then they get purchased by private equity, who then gets purchased by bigger companies that are publicly traded. These publicly traded companies have to always continue to grow and show profit for their shareholders, and so many times they put profit over people or profit over product, and they end up having a lesser process, a worse product, because they're trying to please those shareholders. And it's most likely one of those slip-ups in production and quality that is causing Jalapeño Gate this year. And this is exactly why I got excited when this company, Botanical Interest, was purchased by this guy, Kevin, from Epic Gardening. It's really nice to see when a company like this is purchased by another individual that can continue that legacy instead of a private equity group that's just going to be focused solely on profit. And Kevin may actually want to make his own video that talks about where their seeds are sourced from and how they can control the quality of their product. So yeah, we've got a big problem. The FTC has shown its cards. It's not going to break up these monopolies that are the giant corporations that own most of the seeds. So what can we do as consumers to help break that up? First of all is save your own seeds whenever possible, but whenever you are purchasing seeds or plants, look for companies that are family-owned, families that are independent and not owned by giant corporations. And there are a lot of them out there, but you just may have to do a little bit of digging, pun intended.